Hey everybody, welcome back. Welcome back, Dr. Jaws here, and tonight we are doing a very special episode on two different species of sharks, and I'll explain in a second. But this is our Shark Week special episode, wherein we announced the winner of the 2026 Shark Week banner contest. So we'll do that a little bit later into the stream. But I'm very excited to kind of share the answer to our Shark Week contest challenge, where we gave hints on which shark species fit a certain set of criteria. And I had one species in mind, which is this one, the Dusky shark, which fits everything that was described on the rules for the contest website. So it's a shark that, the mystery shark for this contest was a shark that lives in Virginia waters, a shark that is capable of eating marine mammals, a shark that is the largest of its genus, and I think there was one more criterion. Let me double check what the rules were because I think I had one more rule for that. Oh, and the shark with a nictitating membrane. So Dusky shark actually, it was a species I had in mind, and it's a species that hits all four categories, but our winner actually guessed another shark species that also hits all four categories, which is the tiger shark. So tiger sharks, Gallicida cuvier, also fit everything in the contest rules, where it, like the Dusky shark, has a nictitating membrane. It is the largest of its genus. It's the only member of the genus Gallicida. It is capable of eating marine mammals, and it lives in Virginia. So while it wasn't the shark that I had in mind per se, it absolutely checks off all four boxes. So it is just as valid as a winner as the Dusky shark. So I'm excited to announce tonight's winner later to just kind of celebrate their ingenuity in guessing a species that totally fits the criteria. So. And I think for tonight's episode, we're going to go into both species to sort of compare them and see what makes them similar, what makes them different. They're both in the same order, Carcharodontiformes, but they have some unique ecological differences, and they're both great species to talk about for, just the fact that they're both kind of rare and they have different conservation needs. I think they're just both great species to talk about for tonight's episode. So I think it's hard to choose which one to go first. I think we'll do the Dusky shark first, and then we'll come back to the tiger shark, because the winner made this beautiful piece of artwork with the tiger shark in mind. So I hope the winner will be able to hop on tonight so we can announce their success. So, but we'll talk about Dusky shark first. So this is Carcharodontis obscurus, a rare species. And really an endangered species. This is one of the first sharks that I've ever really focused on in kind of my time as Dr. Jaws, just because this is a shark that really doesn't get a lot of conservation attention. It's not really as charismatic as the other shark species that we all know and love, like the tiger sharks and white sharks and hammerheads and whale sharks. Like this is a species that a lot of people don't really know too much about. So I'd love to kind of dive into what makes a Dusky shark tick and like what are its conservation needs. So let's see. Obscurus. Oh. But I also pulled up the Virginia Institute of Marine Science main page for Dusky sharks and tiger sharks. So it's kind of fun to compare both, since the contest was Virginia themed anyway, since it's my home state. And I like to talk about sharks that, sharks that are global, but also sharks that occupy, I'm particularly interested in sharks that occupy the Mid-Atlantic region. So here's a great illustration of a Dusky shark by Mark Dando. It's probably arguably the best shark artist alive. I think Mark's work is really spectacular. But it's a pretty robust shark, and the key feature for Dusky sharks is that the origin of their first dorsal fin is right behind the free tip of the pectoral fin. So just the positioning of the first dorsal fin relative to the pectoral fin is what's diagnostic for this species. It's a really hard shark to tell apart from a couple other kinds of species, but the dorsal fin position is a great indicator for that. So they get to be pretty big. So the maximum size is about 14 feet. So that's the largest of the genus Conroe-Nicholls. So this is the same genus as sandbar sharks and bull sharks, black-nose sharks, black-tip sharks. This is the same genus of shark, but it is significantly, I mean, not significantly, but noticeably larger, and clocking out at I believe 14 feet is the maximum size. It could be a pretty formidable animal. It's also interesting that Dusky sharks do eat marine mammals. They're one of the very, very few sharks that are able to eat marine mammals. They have dentition that is evolved to kind of cut into and carve large chunks of flesh, just like a white shark or a oceanic whitetip. I wonder if we actually have any pictures of the teeth. There we go. So this is an illustration from Florida Museum of Natural History, but you can see how they're very broad, serrated teeth. So they're actually really scary looking. So these like broad, triangular teeth, they're reminiscent of large shark species like tigers and oceanic whitetips, and it makes the dusky shark a pretty frightening predator going after marine mammals. So small whales are a prey item for the species, which is kind of wild to think about. I have heard of dusky sharks schooling together and collaborating together to take down a large whale, but there's only been, I think, a very few verified records of that, so I'm excited to learn more about the species tonight. We have done a full episode on dusky sharks, but it would be kind of cool to recap what the species is known to do. So heavy fishing pressure on the species has reduced its numbers. It is now it is now a rare event to see a dusky shark in the Virginia region. Maximum size is 11.8 feet, 3.6 meters in total length. I think that is kind of low. I think they actually do get a bit larger. Dusky sharks could be found in warm, temperate seas and tropical seas around the world. So on the map here, on the east coast of the U.S. are from Massachusetts all the way down through the Gulf of Mexico and then to South America. They are possibly extant in Iberia and Central Africa, but their range may have been affected by heavy fishing pressure. There's a population in Baja, Mexico, and population around Australia. And Australia is actually a really cool place to dive with dusky sharks. So we have a couple cool videos of, let's see if I can make this bigger. Cool videos of dusky shark encounters. Mostly in Australian waters. So this one looks like a pup. But these are coastal pelagic species. They are sharks that spend time, both on the coastline and then also offshore. And they actually don't really spend a lot of time in estuaries. I know that they do occur in the Chesapeake Bay, but they don't really like bays and estuaries as much as other kinds of shark species. They usually prefer full seawater. So it's kind of cool to see footage of these like pups swimming in shallow water. They have such an interesting movement about them too. Oh, there's a little filefish. Look at that. They have such an interesting movement about them where they're almost reminiscent of silky sharks. They're very like elongate, very graceful in the way that they move. It's so cool to see these dusky shark pups. So again, they're an endangered species. And part of the reason why they're endangered, it's not just the fishing pressure, but it's also the very, very long reproductive cycle that dusky sharks have. So dusky sharks have a 1.5 year long pregnancy, and then they take a 1.5 year long break. So it's about 3 years total as far as their reproductive cycle goes, and that's notoriously slow. That's one of the slowest amongst sharks in general. So it definitely is a species that could use a lot of extra attention. So, hey Mingus, welcome back. Fascinating that there's even any records of schooling while hunting, though. It's true. It's. I'm trying to remember where I read that from, but there has been at least one or like a handful of incidents of dusky sharks going after marine mammals, and it makes sense. I mean, like cooperating together to hunt down marine mammals, which makes sense given their dentition. But it's still really wild to think about. But hope you're having yeah, hope you're having a great week. Happy Monday. My Wi-Fi is still not being nice to me, so I'll probably be in and out. No worries. I'm glad you could join us for tonight. And this is the night that we announced the winner of the banner contest, so we're very excited for that. So it's kind of cool is that the shark that I had in mind as our mystery shark was a dusky shark, but the winner actually correctly found another shark species that fits all the criteria for the contest. So very excited to dive more into that later. Here's this is a beautiful piece of footage of a dusky shark. This one being more of a solitary individual, but you can see that positioning of the first dorsal fin relative to the pectoral fins. It's very unique where it's right at the free rear tip of the pectoral fin, so it's further back on the body. So other sharks have their dorsal fin further up on the body, like other requiem sharks, like other Carcharodontis, have the dorsal fin further up. So this is such a great shot, by the way. Great view of what a dusky shark looks like, just moving in the water. So they're one of a kind. They're at first really tricky to tell apart from other shark species, but the more you familiarize yourself with them, the more you can kind of see what makes them different in terms of like the way that they move, and then their body plan, with the fin being the first dorsal fin being where it is positioning wise. So these are really great clips. As the name implies, dusky sharks do have dusky tips on their lower caudal fin, anal fin, second dorsal fin, and actually pectoral fins. So they're not like true black tips, like black tip sharks, but they are dark pigmentation. So that's how they get their name. So diet consists of numerous fishes such as menhaden, bluefish, tunas, mackerels, small sharks, and skates. Again, larger individuals do go after marine mammals. Ecology: about 10 young comprise a litter of pups that are born about 3 feet. A female only gives birth about every 3 years. The species grows very slowly. It matures in 17 to 20 years. Maximum age may exceed 50 years. So that's pretty incredible in terms of the longevity and the age of maturity at sharks. As far as sharks are concerned, that's a really high age of maturity. It's also interesting, for comparing to humans, this is actually later than our maturity. Like, I mean, we're not emotionally mature, at like in our early teenage years, but we reach biological maturity at that point. It's kind of amazing to compare with dusky sharks, where 17 to 20 is quite a bit later, and it's cool to see that their maximum age being exceeding 50 years. A lot of sharks do pass around 30 years, maybe even 20, but there are a handful that can be pretty old. So it's cool to see that dusky shark is one in that latter group of sharks that can attain pretty long life. So, because of its large size, the dusky shark is a popular target of recreational anglers. It was once one of the primary species entered in shark fishing tournaments. And unfortunately, on the east coast of the United States, those tournaments were pretty prevalent in the mid-20th century. It is caught in the commercial fishery and is often taken in the offshore fishery for swordfish and tuna. The meat is very good, and the fins are of a good quality of sail to make shark fin soup. Heavy fishing pressure on the species has reduced its numbers alarmingly. So again, dusky sharks are an endangered species. And as far as conservation detail, dusky shark is a large coastal and pelagic shark with a patchy distribution in the tropical and warm temperate seas from the surface down to depths of 500 meters. The species has low biological productivity with late age of maturity and a long reproductive cycle. It is caught globally as target and bycatch in pelagic and coastal large and small-scale longline, purse seine, and gillnet fisheries, and is often retained for the meat and fins. Steep declines have occurred in the Northwest Atlantic and Eastern Indian Ocean, and to a lesser degree in the Western Indian Ocean. trends in the eastern Atlantic and off West Africa are suspected to be declining. The global population reduction is estimated to have undergone a reduction of 72%, of the highest probability of greater than 80% reduction over 3 generations. The areas with available abundance trend data are relatively small compared to the global distribution, and abundance trends are known in parts of its distribution. The overall estimated population reduction is steep, and management in many parts of its range is lacking, including areas of intense exploitation, likely leading to steep inferred population reduction. However, management action in the Northwest Atlantic and Eastern Indian Ocean have resulted in the stabilization and possible slow recovery in these regions. That's actually huge. It's huge that the Northwest Atlantic, so that's United States, Canada, Mexico, actually might be seeing a slight increase in dusky shark populations. That's huge because this is one of the first sharks that I've ever done studied and seen that it's from the word go. It's had a really bad conservation status, but it's really a big deal that it might be coming back a little bit. So, hi Tim, welcome back. Glad to be here, everyone. It's good to have you back too. Hope you had a great weekend. It's kind of funny. I took it easy this weekend and just watched a bunch of movies and just took it easy. I'm hoping to go back diving in a couple weeks, so fingers crossed that we have a weather window opening for that. So, because we have been getting a lot of storms lately here. Minjus never heard of shark fishing tournaments. Yes, so that's a good thing, and I'm really glad to hear that because what's great is that I think the temperature has changed in terms of we don't really have shark tournaments. As far as I know, I don't think we have shark tournaments here anymore, just because there's been so much management work that happened in the 90s, 2000s, where we realized that we're overexploiting sharks and they have to be managed extremely carefully. A lot of the original management plans for sharks were based on how you manage bony fish, and there was a huge change in the 90s and the 2000s where researchers or conservationists realized that you can't really approach sharks like that. You have to treat them more like mammals, like marine mammals, just because their life history is actually more closer to marine mammals. What's kind of interesting related to that is when you compare how sharks and bony fish reproduce. I mean, sharks reproduce much more closely to marine mammals than to bony fish, like by a long shot. Because sharks have internal fertilization just like mammals, and they have a pretty, how do I say this, like a fairly sizable litter. So it could be 2 to 100 pups, roughly. Depends on the species, but 2 to 100 pups. That's pretty comparable with mammals, where some mammals will have one offspring. Some mammals, depending on the species, will have multiple. I don't know about hundreds, but the litters of mammals are measured in single digits, the tens, or maybe even 100, just like sharks. Bony fish are completely different, where bony fish spawn, and the spawn can be millions of bony fish, like millions of baby fish. And it's external fertilization with a few rare exceptions, and it's just completely different. Like, a lot of fish are planktonic when they're larvae, and they fall out of the plankton and as they get larger and larger, and you just have to manage that completely differently. Sharks, none of them are planktonic when they're larvae. Sharks are born fully formed and ready to go. So it's like, between their life histories, it just makes so much more sense to manage sharks like a marine mammal as opposed to a bony fish. They're just completely different. The life histories are completely different. That brings up a good K strategy, L strategy, right? Or sorry, R strategy. I'm sure, because we have some biologists in the chat, so I'm sure this is familiar, but it's a good example of RK selection theory. So there's some animals that are described as R strategists, and there's some animals that are described as K strategists, and it essentially relates to one strategy of living is that you have few young, but you invest a lot more time in them, which is K strategy. And then another strategy is you have a lot of young, but there's no parental investment, and it's just really like a numbers game, which is R strategy. So um, let's see. So an R selected species are those that emphasize high growth rates, typically exploit less crowded ecological niches, and produce many offspring, each of which has relatively low probability of surviving to adulthood. Typical R species is the dandelion. Um, let's see. Other ones are bacteria, diatoms, insects are a great example, grasses, cephalopods, fowl, and rodents. So, and really, a lot of bony fish I think you could describe as R strategists. K strategist species display traits associated with living at densities close to carrying capacity, typically are strong competitors to such crowded niches. They invest more heavily in fewer offspring, each of which has relatively high probability of surviving to adulthood. So this would be like elephants, sharks. They put sharks here as a K strategist. Humans, of course. Whales, and then some birds like terns, parrots, and eagles. So K strategists are good parents that invest a lot in their offspring and have fully formed offspring that are ready to go when they're young. And R strategists are just playing the numbers game where they have a lot of offspring, but not all of them are going to make it. So I'm actually kind of curious what sea turtles would be considered, because I think sea turtles would be sort of in the middle. So, Tim, great question. Is in utero cannibalism found in all shark species? So the answer is no. It's a great question. So it's actually a unique form of reproduction that's found in lambda forms. So this would be, I don't know if all of lambda forms have it, but the mackerel sharks and basking shark and sand tiger sharks definitely have it. So so as far as intrautero cannibalism, I'll just list a couple example species. But sand tiger shark, white shark, and basking shark. I think the poor beagle does too, and I think mako sharks do too, but I'm not 100% sure. But those three species I'm 100% sure have intrauterine cannibalism, which is kind of wild. Now, there is cannibalism in other shark species just in the wild. So bull sharks are known to cannibalize each other. I think there's some other one. I think sandbar sharks do that too. I'm not 100% certain. But as far as intrauterine cannibalism, it's really just the lambda forms or mackerel sharks. So lambda forms. But anyway, as far as dusky sharks go, I'm very happy to see that even though it is endangered, there's a little bit of a hint of its recovery. And part of that being good management measures. So dusky shark, as far as like American shark conservation, dusky shark is one of those like poster children of species. So dusky sharks, sandbar sharks, and poor beagles, like those three sharks are really, really kind of at the forefront of a lot of conservation focus. And from a fisheries management perspective, and they've helped drive shark management policy and or management approaches, and it's really great to see that that's kind of paying off for the species. So as far as like sharks that get a lot of conservation attention, that would be like whale sharks, white sharks, and basking sharks, and oceanic whitetips, which is great. Mako sharks are starting to get there. Hammerheads are starting to get there. But it's really cool to see that from a fisheries management perspective, dusky sharks, sandbar sharks, and poor beagles, but particularly dusky sharks, have been really a driving force in good management. And it's great to see that the shark itself is benefiting from that. So very happy to see that. Abundance. Dusky sharks were severely overfished by both recreational and commercial fisheries in the late 1970s to early 90s. Data from the VIM Shark Survey show that local populations of dusky sharks were reduced by 80%. The implementation of shark management measures in Virginia in 1990 and by the federal government in 1993 have led to a slow but steady recovery in their population. Tim, great question. Is related to the mother's diet, less food leading to fewer offspring due to eating each other? Interesting regarding intrauterine cannibalism. It's an interesting question. I don't think it is, because I think it is a natural mode of reproduction for the mackerel sharks. So even if the mother was well fed, the sharks would still engage in intrauterine cannibalism, and I think that's just a survival strategy that, for whatever reason, that branch of sharks evolved to have. And the theory behind it is it's one pup will get to a certain size where it's able to devour like either unfertilized eggs or developed siblings as a form of nourishment. So it's kind of like a more what's the word? Lucrid, I think, lurid. Sorry, lurid. There we go. It's a more lurid version of essentially the same thing that happens with sharks developing in a norm like a typical egg case, or a shark that has a placental connection. It's essentially the same thing where in some way, shape, or form the shark pup is getting nutrients. It's just that for sharks that are born via intrauterine cannibalism, it's like the most brutal way of doing it, but it's essentially achieving the same goal, which is like a large embryo is somehow incorporating nutrients to get bigger and to be born healthy. And that's just the way that they do it. So I think it's not related to diet per se. It's just kind of more evolution. It's just more of like how that line of sharks evolved. And I'm not sure why they evolved like that, but it is really interesting and very unique. And I will say, as a group, sharks have one of the most diverse modes of reproduction. Where, I mean, you have some that lay eggs, you have some that do intrauterine cannibalism. Some are born live and have a placental connection, just like mammals. It's really interesting just how they can, depending on the species, it could be across the spectrum. It's so fascinating, just how they have evolved overall, though. For dusky sharks, the implementation of shark management measures in Virginia in 1990 and by the federal government in 1993 have led to a slow but steady recovery in their population. This takes you right to a link to Virginia law pertaining to sharks. So there's actually quite a bit here. We won't really dive into this, but I'm immediately seeing a lot of spiny dogfish articles, and then a little bit of dusky smoothhound articles, which is kind of interesting. Spiny dogfish are also really interesting in terms of how they're handled in the United States, because I think it's the only shark species where I believe management is at the state level, whereas the rest are federal. And I don't know why there's that distinction, but yeah, it's kind of like a special shark in that way. And I'm glad it has its own management plan, because that's also a very unique species that requires very intentional management strategies. So, but I'd love to look at some dive notes for the dusky shark. So this is sharksandwaves.com by Andy Merck, relating to the Andy Murch. Relating to dusky shark, and it looks like it can also be called the dusky whaler, as probably the Australian name for it. But beautiful photo of a adult dusky shark. So really great shot of again showcasing its namesake with the dusky fin tips, but also the diagnostic feature of having the first dorsal fin behind the free rear tip of the pectoral fins. I'm also noticing that dusky sharks seem to have like this unique little bulge in their first dorsal fin too, like at the midpoint of the fin. Let's see if that's just one individual or... this is a beautiful photograph that I've actually used in one of my books. And actually, you can see it behind me. So I did get permissions to have it in my Dr. Jaws poster, but this is the dusky shark photo that Andy took of a very large individual. So it's a really, really great looking photo of this beautiful shark, and also a great diagnostic photo for the species, because you get the dusky sharks, grace and proportion really well. You kind of get its heft a little bit because it is a large shark that's capable of hunting large prey items. And you also have, again, the placement of the first dorsal fin being a key identifying feature for this species in terms of how it relates to pectoral fin. So reaction to diver, it's often shy but known to make close passes, bold and potentially aggressive in baited situations. So kind of fun fact, or fun little tidbit, I personally am wary of sharks that are capable of eating marine mammals. So dusky sharks have been in the shark attack file. There have been a couple of dusky shark incidents, not a lot, but they are in there. And I just get a little nervous about if a shark is able to dismember a marine mammal. I do get a little nervous about the idea of being around it. So obviously dusky sharks are not known to attack people the way other sharks are, but it is kind of interesting that it has the dentition to do it, and that is a really rare set of teeth compared to other kinds of sharks. So diving logistics. Dusky sharks randomly show up in various regions of the world, but less so in the warmer tropics. Duskies are fairly common in beta dives near Jupiter Inlet in Florida. Since the banning of inshore shark feeds in Florida waters, the dives take place on deep ledges beyond the state limit. The depth of the dives is around 30 meters, and the shark action is quite varied and intense. Divers may see numerous species, including lemons, tigers, great hammerheads, bull sharks, silkies, duskies, and occasionally sandbar sharks. On rare occasions, scalped hammerheads have been known to show up as well. In South Africa, dusky sharks are often seen on the sardine run, mixed with other species that are feeding bait balls of pilchards. Dusky sharks, known locally as dusky whalers, are quite common in the temperate waters of Australia. From January to June, small aggregations of juveniles can be seen in shallow water close to Manly Beach, a popular local dive site. So I think that was this is where this clip is from, with the juvenile dusky sharks. This is Manly, also known as, I think, Shelley Beach in Australia. Well, it's cool, the idea of being in shallow water, maybe doing some snorkeling. You see dusky shark pups, and pups would be okay to hang out with because the pups are going to be hunting small fish, so that they are safe to be around relative to the larger individuals. So. Also, what a beautiful place to dive or snorkel. Just like crystal clear water, maybe not crystal clear, but like beautiful teal water, very good visibility, a lot of pretty reef fish, and then you have these dusky shark pups kind of hanging out above the kelp beds and seagrass. Not seagrass, but kelp beds. So cool. Let's see. Around 2005, while shooting the sharks at a deep sea mouth of Mexico, about 70 nautical miles south of Venice, Louisiana. Within a few minutes, 50 plus large dusky sharks appeared in the slick. We circled them for more than an hour and found them to be quite aggressive. No other sharks showed up, so the duskies are probably the dominant species in that area. So that note about them being aggressive is kind of interesting, because again, they're a little unique in having the teeth that are capable of dismembering marine mammals. One cool thing about this photograph is you can actually see very clearly the ridge, the interdorsal ridge between the first and second dorsal fin. So this is a handy identification feature for separating ridgeback sharks. Sorry, I was listening to, I don't know if you could hear that, I was listening to the Jurassic Park, like a Jurassic Park video game soundtrack, and there was like a kid's audio that creeped me out for a second, so I didn't realize it was part of the soundtrack. But anyway, so this photograph is really great because it shows the interdorsal ridge, which is a great way to help identify Conroe-Nicholls sharks. So you can separate the genus Conroe-Nicholls into ridgeback sharks, like the dusky shark, or ridgeless sharks, like bull sharks don't have a ridge. but dusky sharks do. So, and what this ridge is, it's just kind of like a raised line of dermal denticles that run between the two dorsal fins. So, really great shot of that. And it's just a handy trick to help easily identify species. Also, really good view of how large the dusky shark's pectoral fins are. So, implying that it is an ocean cruiser. So something that does spend some time inshore, but also can be in the open oceans, similar to blue sharks or oceanic white-tip sharks. So we saw this photo already, which is kind of like the main page photo. Here's another beautiful picture of a pretty large dusky shark. They get a pretty interesting fin shape where it is straight until it curves inward before going outward. That's actually kind of unique relative to other kinds of sharks. This individual is interesting because look at the teeth marks around its gills. So this was delivered by another shark. And I can't tell if this is a male shark or a female shark because it's hard to tell what's going on beneath the pelvic fins. But if I want to guess this is a male shark possibly because female sharks will have thick skin and also will probably have bite marks around their body. Which are received during mating events, but the fact that there's teeth marks around the gills, this could be a territorial male mark, where a male dusky shark goes after another male dusky shark and takes a bite out of it, or it could be a predation event by a different shark species. It's just so interesting that the gills are what's being targeted, so these bite marks are around the most sensitive part of a shark. So not the mid-body and not the head, but it's the gills. That's a really targeted attack right there, which is kind of interesting to see. So, and it looks fairly recent too. So those are pretty fresh, not brand new wounds, but fairly fresh wounds. So, interesting individual. So nice view of the dusky shark's lower teeth here. You can actually see a little bit of the nictitae membrane beginning to curve above the eye. The eye is so cool. Part of the reason why I picked Jurassic Park game music is just I always think there's such a cool relationship between, or a kind of cool similarity between just sharks and how the dinosaurs are depicted in Jurassic Park, particularly the eyes, and it's just like you can really see that here with this vertical pupil, maximizing light intake in a brightly lit shallow water environment. It's so cool to see that because it just looks like a dinosaur eye. It's so interesting. You see very well developed nasal cavity and then also very prominent ampullae lorenzini. So these little dots on the side, these are the electromagnetic sensing organs that sharks have. All sharks have them, but you can actually really see a beautiful pattern of them here. And actually, it's kind of funny. This one clip, or this one photo, has these major senses depicted very prominently. So ampullae lorenzini for electroreception, the eye is for sight, the nostril for snout. The nostril for smell. Sorry, nostril for snout. Snout is not a sense. Hey Quackers, welcome back. Good to see you. We are talking about dusky sharks right now. So, I was just focused on this photograph of the species. So just depicting these, or just like talking about these different features. So, I'm glad you were able to join us. So it's great to see you, Quackers, because I don't think you were here at the top of the stream. We were talking about the original answer to the contest, which is dusky sharks, but the fact that the winner came up with another shark that actually answers all the questions correctly. So let me pull up what we have. So we're doing like a dual episode special. I'm going to pull up what we had for the contest rules. And I'm probably going to pick a different soundtrack because I didn't I picked Jurassic Park Trespasser, which I've never listened to before, and it's got a lot of weird audio clips. So, um, okay, so here we go. Here we go. So here is the banner contest rules. So for the mystery shark, and I'm very pleased to share that I had the Dusky shark in mind, but the winner identified another shark species that checks all these boxes. So the species has a nictitating membrane, so it's the Carcharodontiform. The species eats marine mammals, so that is something that has to be a large shark with very unique dentition. The Dusky shark checks that box off, but so does the tiger shark. So tiger sharks and Dusky sharks, they both have the nictitating membrane, they both eat marine mammals. The species is the largest of its genus, and I thought that was a clever clue for the Dusky shark, because this is the superlative Carcharodontis. This is the largest member of its genus. But the winner also correctly identified the tiger shark as the largest member of its genus because it's Gallicerdo. So it's the only member of Gallicerdo, but still the largest. And then finally, the species lives in Virginia, and both Dusky sharks and tiger sharks live in Virginia. So without further ado, I would like to announce the winner now. So congratulations to Quackers for throwing me for a good loop where you depicted a tiger shark, which matches all the clues. So your artwork is fantastic, and I'm really excited to go into the details. But Quackers is such a cool piece. So thank you so much for creating it. And yeah, you've got to be squinting me. Oh my gosh. Oh, sorry. So yeah, let's talk about this. This is so cool. So I love that there's all these different tiger sharks here, and each one has a lot of personality. So I love that you have a beautiful and earnest one in the center. So because that absolutely fits the contest rule, where it's and actually the medium is so interesting too, because this looks like it's painted. So it looks so good. But I love that it's an earnest depiction of a tiger shark in the center. You really got the head just right, where it's like that big boxy head. But you also have a beautiful illustration of the tiger stripes, first and second dorsal fin, pair pectoral fins, pelvic fin, anal fin, the caudal fin, and I love that the upper lobe is a lot thinner. And both the upper and lower lobe are thin, because tiger sharks have such a graceful look overall. So I love that there's this main one here, but then in each corner there's I see this one is I think inverting its stomach, which is a really cool like little known shark fact that sharks can do that. I love that there's literally like a little tiger one down in the lower right, so it's like looking like a little tiger, which is really cute. I love this one in the bottom left, which is this kind of like salmon-y, it's actually really pretty, this like salmon-y tiger shark. And then finally we have the tiger shark eating a suit of or a helmet, which is a great homage to the fact that these sharks are the garbage cans of the sea, and they'll eat anything. So Quackers, congratulations, this is an amazing piece. It is going to be featured on the banner of the channel, and you will be credited, so I will have your username as well as Shark Week banner contest winner 2026, so I'll have that uploaded probably by the end of the week for the main channel image. And I'm very... Oh, this is cool. Wait. Just seeing all these comments, I lost track. Oh, okay, I had so many tests, so I ended up doing this the day it was due. What's so funny is when I saw your message, I told my wife about the 3 minutes before the deadline, and she cracked up because we've been there. We've all been there. I've totally did that as well. So it's mixed media. The background is painted, and the coral is paper. The sharks are acrylic pens of paper. Stripes look white because they use metallic pen. It's so cool. It's so cool. Oh my gosh. So it's really fantastic. Congratulations. And I'm excited to announce your prize. So, because I know I've been saying it's a mystery prize. So the winner will receive a mystery prize along with being featured on the channel. So I'm going to pull up a photo of the mystery prize now. So I don't know if you've seen this before, but this game is amazing, and you will be mailed a copy of it directly as your prize for the Shark Week 2026 banner contest. This is Finspan. I don't know if you've heard of this game, but it is super cool. I actually play it a lot. My brother got it for me for Christmas last year, and I've just been addicted. It is extremely fun, and the best part is you can play with friends, but you can also play by yourself. Where it has this kind of cool. It's over here. They call it Automa, but it's basically like an AI that you kind of play against. Where and it's not like a computer AI. It's a set series of cards that make decisions that are actually hard to beat. This game is actually really, really hard to beat. But what it is that you build a reef of all these different fish, and you have to have the right ingredients in terms of like you have to do these like research dives and like have enough resources to summon fish. And in this game, there's 7 different sharks. So this is what I meant by 7 sharks are in the game total. Include some really fun species. Like they have white sharks in this game. They have actually I see it in the photo here. So you have the great white shark over here. They have whale sharks in this game too. I don't think he's featured here, but and a bunch of others. So the biodiversity is actually really good in this game. I love it. It is super duper fun, and I figured for this year it'd be fun to kind of mix the contest up and do like a different kind of prize. And I think this one is a really good one, just because like yours truly plays it all the time. Like this game is a really really fun must have for marine biologists or anybody who likes the sea. So I will go ahead and mail this to you as a congratulations as a prize for winning this year's banner contest. So hope you enjoy. It's super super fun, and again, congratulations and thank you for submitting this incredible piece of art that will feature on the channel as well. So well done and happy Shark Week 2026. So, I love these comments. So, oh my gosh. So, and actually, if anyone has not played Finspan, I highly recommend it. It's super cool. Oh yeah. This looks so cool. My friends and I eats up these kind of games. You will not be disappointed. It's super super fun. So congratulations, Quackers, and really really excited for congratulations. And I think we'll conclude the stream with Tiger Shark content, since Tiger Shark is the answer to is one of the answers to the contest. So let's dive into what makes a Tiger Shark a Tiger Shark. So I started off on Dusky Sharks for Virginia Institute of Marine Science. So we'll take a look at the Tiger Shark page for Virginia Institute of Marine Science. So Tiger Shark, size, diet, and Virginia sighting. So this is a bit of a rarer species of Virginia, but it is a shark that comes up here. So we actually see about maybe 1 or 2, actually maybe more than that. I would say maybe like maybe 4 or 5 a year, because it's primarily a warm water species. But in the summer, it does wander up here. And actually, they did catch a tiger shark in, I want to say, Rhode Island this week. So it is a shark that migrates up the Gulf Stream. So, but occasional visitors to Virginia waters, usually found 10 to 20 miles offshore. Largest shark caught on Vim's long line, maximum size 18 feet. So these guys get to be huge. Like they're oh, nice! Tim, just saw your comment. Just bought Finspan on Amazon. Gets here Wednesday. It's so cool. I highly recommend it. So, no worries. I just saw your comment. Everybody, please don't look. I just realized the gills. No worries. Totally fine. And again, congratulations. I'm so excited for you to play Finspan. It's super super fun. So. Because like I got to there's 5 levels in that game, and I got to level 2, or I beat level 2, and I'm on level 3 right now, and it's very tough. So, but very fun to do on a rainy afternoon. So, for tiger sharks, it was once a common coastal shark off the Virginia region, but its abundance declined markedly from the 1970s and 90s. Maximum size is about 18 feet for females and 12 feet for males, which is pretty common. Female sharks typically are a lot larger than male sharks, and they have thicker skin too. Most adults are less than 13 feet. Range, I can actually pull up the tiger shark's range here, so we'll Galisoto. I'm sure I've shared this before, but tiger sharks recently were reassigned into their own family. So they used to be considered a kind of requiem shark, but they're just too different. Their reproductive strategy is really different. Their genetics are really different, and they've been recently reassigned as a new family. What's kind of cool is that there's these weird. I think we talked about this maybe at one point. There's these weird, sporadic maps of a tiger shark in Iceland, Alaska, Ireland, and England. I'm a little shocked by that because, again, it's a warm water species. So let's look that up really quick. Tiger shark in Iceland. Extremely rare in Iceland. Tiger sharks, Iceland. I don't know where that comes from, so that I have to. We may have to corroborate that because I think we investigated that last time and we kind of maybe debunked that. But overall, it is a cosmopolitan shark because you do see, and this makes sense. Like it is a warm water shark that can be found pretty much throughout the world. I don't know if going as far north as Iceland makes sense, but southern Iceland is a temperate zone though, so maybe in an unusually warm summer. Majority of individuals that occur in the region are subadults and adults. The juveniles are born farther south and remain there during their first years. So, what's kind of cool about baby tiger sharks is that they have very prominent markings, and we actually have a clip of a baby tiger shark in the wild looking at a beta remote underwater video survey. And this is how it gets its name. Tiger shark is really the prominent bars that you see on its back. So baby tiger sharks, very striking patternation, and they actually also have these like really cute big eyes. But it's kind of cool. Yeah, look at them biting everything. Very inquisitive. It's kind of cool to see how that color changes. We'll take another look at the baby again before we move on to larger individuals. But it's kind of cool to see how the color changes. It reminds me of an alligator, where alligators have very prominent markings when they're juveniles. They have these like bold yellow and black markings, but when they get to be adults, they fade into this like large gray animal. So, and tiger sharks are very similar in that way. I love that this individual just keeps going at this camera. It's so funny. So we have a captive tiger shark here too, just to kind of give another view of the patternation. So it's pretty strong when they're young. It's interesting to see that the head is a little bit more plain, but the trunk and the tail have much more prominent stripes. They're really beautiful pattern too. So it's a very, very pretty species. This one, we'll make this larger. This is a large individual. You can kind of tell not just by the size, but also how faded the bars are. So this is definitely an adult shark. And 18 feet is massive. That is a large shark. So tiger sharks are one of the largest sharks in the world, alongside the great hammerhead, the white shark. They get to be a pretty formidable size. And you can see how these are one of the more dangerous sharks just because of their large size and their opportunistic diet. So they are very comfortable eating a wide variety of prey items. Tiger sharks are pretty popular to dive with and typically really safe to dive with, but I would not want to meet a tiger shark in the wild, like skin diving, I would be really nervous about that because the number of shark attacks from tiger sharks it's proportionally really high. So I think they have the second highest number of attacks. With the first one being actually no, maybe the third highest number. With the other two being white sharks and bull sharks. Similar to bull sharks, tiger sharks are warm water coastal predators, so they do like to be in shallow water. Dissimilar to bull sharks, tiger sharks tend to spend most of their time on the coast, so they don't really go into bays or estuaries that much. I don't know if they even can, because I know for the Chesapeake Bay, we don't see them inside the bay proper. They like to be on the seacoast. So, and similar to white sharks, they prefer more of that full blast seawater, that high salinity seawater. There's a tiger shark prominently using its nictitating membrane, so really great to see one of the clues in the contest in action. It's that feature that helps protect the eyeball when the shark is getting too close to an object. This is a really pretty individual with kind of intermediate coloration, so this one almost looks like maybe this is like a teenage tiger shark. We have some, it looks like there's a whale sucker on the shark's back and a remora on the shark's belly, so a couple hitchhiking fish on this individual. And again, very large shark. So I'd love to read some dive notes on tiger sharks, just because I've heard it's a good species to dive with. I've heard it's safe, but let's see. Mondo, I don't know about Virginia, but I do know tigers check all other criteria. So tiger sharks definitely do live in Virginia. Vim's has a couple records that, like it's not a common species, but it is a species. And when I say VIMS, I mean the Virginia Institute of Marine Science. So we could take a look at some of the common species that live here. So this is the main research lab or actually really kind of the only prominent marine research lab in Virginia. We also have Old Dominion has, I think, a research lab, but this one, the one with the College of William Mary, is kind of the most prominent one. But shark species of Virginia and Chesapeake Bay, the common ones that we see are sandbar sharks, but another one of note is the tiger shark, so it does come by here. Atlantic sharp-nosed shark is another one that's very common. Bull shark is kind of probably occurs at the same frequency as tiger sharks. It's not a super common species, but it's something that we do see. We have white sharks, really rare, but they do occur. Dusky smoothhounds, also known as smooth dogfish. These are very common in Virginia. Dusky sharks, very rare. Black tip sharks, pretty common, more of a warm water, like Florida, Carolina species. Spinner sharks, pretty common. Scalped hammerheads and smooth hammerheads. They're both, or scalps are critically endangered, but they do occur up here. Black-nosed shark, I'm actually a little surprised because that's a really unlikely species to see because it's more of a warm water species. Sand tiger sharks, fairly common. They're critically endangered, but it is a shark that naturally should occur on the Mid-Atlantic coastline. It's actually it's a stronghold for the species. And then the great hammerhead shark is kind of a rare shark, but it does occur here in Virginia. So I remember one of my mentors worked up a tiger shark off Virginia Beach, and I wonder if we can get any recent records on this recapture map. So, to quote Kung Fu Panda 3, stripey baby. I didn't know that tiger sharks were Virginia until I did. So, it's, I mean, I know Virginia's not well known for them, but they do occur here. So, and which is really cool. And actually, something I love about this contest is that it helps educate people on sharks that occur in our home state, because Virginia is in the middle of a high biodiversity zone of sharks, but it's not known for it. In the United States, the big shark locations are Florida. Like, Florida is super famous for sharks. Massachusetts, only because of Jaws and the recent uptick in white sharks. I would say Massachusetts is becoming more prominently known for sharks. California, because of white sharks and prominent shark attacks, and that's kind of it. Like I think those are the only states that really have a very high global reputation for sharks, but the other states not so much, and which is a shame because in terms of biodiversity, Virginia is one of the highest. So I think anywhere between Cape Cod and Cape Hatteras is high biodiversity. I would say the Carolinas are high biodiversity, but when you get to Acadia or maybe even the Pacific Coast, it's a little bit. It's not as much. So, which is kind of fascinating. But anyway, kind of rambling. But tiger sharks are pretty. They're here. They're just kind of occasional because they tend to spend more time in tropical waters. But I've just noticed over here a lot of synonyms for tiger sharks. So I like how there's a lot of reclassification of the species throughout history. So you have like Carcharias fasciatus, which is kind of wild. Gallicerdo tigrinus, which I kind of like. And actually, there are a lot of fossil tiger sharks, which we'll get into a little bit later. But this tiger shark is the only one that exists today, but there's actually quite a few more in the ancient past. So, identification largest of the Carcharodonid sharks. This is outdated because tiger sharks are now in their own family, Galliceridae. Head large with blunt square snout, long labiofurbos. Dorsal coloration variable, shades of charcoal gray, greenish gray, or brownish gray with patterned dark irregular blotches or vertical stripes forming subtle bars. In juveniles, the pattern appears much more spot-like and bold. Over time, the spots become bars and also fade. Extremely large individuals may have barely discernible markings. Oh wow! Maximum length 549 centimeters. So that's pretty huge. That is 18 feet. There's a report of a 7.4 meter tiger shark, which is nuts. So that is about 24 feet, but was not measured by scientists. But that's still kind of like really freaky and formidable if that was verified. Conservation status near threatened. Although tiger shark has large litters, its triennial reproductive cycle makes it very difficult for the population to recover from losses. As well as being a targeted and bycatch component of artisanal and commercial fisheries in many areas, tiger sharks are also impacted by shark control programs, such as drumlines and shark nets in countries such as Australia and South Africa. In North America, the population appears to be relatively stable, but significant declines have been reported from other areas. The overall tiger shark population is estimated to have decreased by 30% over the last 3 generation lengths, and declines are expected to continue. So for diving with the shark, I'm very curious about this. Oh, see you, Tim. Hope you have a good night, and thank you so much for joining. Sorry, I just saw your comment. So, hope you have a great rest of your week if you're still here, and I hope you have a great week regardless. But thank you for joining. Reaction to divers. Given their size, tiger sharks are often surprisingly wary around divers, even when food is introduced. In areas where there are habituated divers, such as Tiger Beach, they are extremely nonchalant towards divers that are not carrying food. Caution, tiger sharks have been implicated in numerous attacks in some areas, for example, attacks on surfers and swimmers in Hawaii. I think I've told this before, but I had a buddy tell me that tiger sharks are like big puppies. Like they're like big. They're just kind of like big lazy dogs, or not dogs, but puppies. Just kind of like they don't know their size, and they're kind of nudge their way in, and they're a little dopey. Like I've heard of this for tiger sharks, so I have not swam with a tiger shark, but our friend Jess Myers has. So and we had a really cool tiger shark special episode. So if you go back to, I think it's like within the first 100 episodes that we did, or actually it's on the specials section of the channel. You'll see our conversation about tiger sharks with Dr. Jess Myers. It's really cool that she actually got to tag a tiger shark and has this great photo with one. So, but diving logistics. There are now quite a few baited encounters with tiger sharks, but none that compare the reputation and reality of Tiger Beach in the Bahamas. Tiger Beach is a phenomenon in its own right. Not a beach at all, Tiger Beach is a shallow, sandy area with no land in sight on Little Bahama Bank. So, obviously, I do want to see that. Tiger Beach, Little Bahama Bank. Alright, so this is such a great size comparison of tiger sharks relative to um, other divers. And actually, a couple sharks have individual names and personalities. So this one is Emma. This one is Missy. This one is Jitterbug. Another photo of Emma again. It's kind of cool seeing, this one's Jen. It's kind of cool seeing areas where sharks are so well known that they're given names, and you can kind of observe different personalities come through. And there was one that was there's a shark dive in Fiji, and it studied the different personalities of bull sharks. And there's actually a high variety of personalities in bull sharks. One of them, I think they named Joker, which is kind of cool. And I forget if it was because I think there was like a little damage due to a fishing hook to its mouth, so it had kind of like scarring, kind of like the Joker scars. So, which is kind of interesting, but there were some sharks that were named after their personalities too, and I'm curious about Jitterbug if this is maybe more of a skittish individual, but I don't know. Tiger sharks at Tiger Beach meet the stars of the trip. They are all females, and many of them are regularly spotted and photo identified. This practice helps us keep track of their visits, relationships, and unique personalities, enhancing our understandings and interactions with them. So I'd love to learn more about the individual. Oh. Proceed to Tiger Beach. Yep. I'd love to learn about the individual sharks, although apparently this website's restricted. So I guess we can't do that. Oh, here we go. What if I can get rid of the volume? So, here's a showcase of this dive site with tiger sharks at Tiger Beach. In the Bahamas. I've heard that Bahamas, just in general, have really good shark diving. And don't need to see this guy. So already have this great visibility, crystal clear water, a beautiful great hammerhead, again silhouetted against the sun. Tiger sharks and great hammerhead. So cool seeing them swimming side by side. These are massive, massive animals. Oh, that's so cool. Tiger shark just rolling around. This one, unfortunately, has a hook in its mouth. Huge mouth. Look at that. Beautiful sharks. This is a bull shark right here, actually. This one's a tiger again. This one's a great hammerhead. Another tiger. Oh my gosh, and great shot of the Ampullae lawrenceni right on its head. And another beautiful shot of the nictitating membrane. There's a lemon shark right beneath the tiger shark. So it's so cool. Wow, look at that great hammerhead. Look at that. This is such an amazing dive location where you're seeing all these large sharks in this setting. It's wow. It's kind of like, I mean, just spending time with the lions, and I would personally be very nervous to do a dive like this. I know there's a lot of safe encounters in baited shark dives, but I'd be just a little nervous because these are such massive animals. Again, it's kind of like going to a savanna I mean, look at the teeth. Look at the shark just kind of like lunging. It's kind of like going to a savannah with a bunch of lions. It's just like really, 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 really high risk. As far as like if there's one false move of handling that shark, they literally have a mouthful of razor blades, and that would be just really uh, that would cause a lot of damage. But I love these shots of the great hammerhead. So already we've seen 4 species so far. Great hammerhead. Oh, I think I see some. There's a Caribbean reef shark in the back. So 5 species. So great hammerhead, tiger sharks, Caribbean reef sharks, bull sharks, and lemon sharks. Lemon sharks in the bottom here. So really incredible location. What's funny, kind of fun fact, is all of these species can also be found in Virginia except the Caribbean reef. We do not have Caribbean reef sharks, but we do have great hammerheads, tiger sharks, lemon sharks, and bull sharks. So those 4 species they do come up here in the summer. But Caribbean reef, the water is a little too cold for them, so they like to be restricted to tropical or warm temperate environments. Oh man, so cool. Another good shot of a bull shark there. Great shot of a great hammerhead. What an amazing dive experience. So this is Tiger Beach. We'll go back to I absolutely adore. I just saw these comments. I absolutely adore tiger sharks being named like sweet little ladies. Is that the get rotated idiot video? Oh my gosh, I have not seen that. I have to see that at some point. I have not seen that one. It's kind of funny related to that. I successfully avoided the Baby Shark song for the longest time until I want to say last year is the last time I saw it, and my wife is the person who introduced it to me. So of all people, to finally expose me to it's probably, what is it, 6 years old now. It's probably an old song, but I was safe until now. So um, let's see. Tiger Beach is a phenomenon in its own right. Not a beach at all. Tiger Beach is a shallow, sandy area with no land in sight on Little Bahama Bank. At one particular dive site with the Tiger Beach area named Fishtails, it is not uncommon to see 4 to 12 tigers on a dive, sometimes even more. The diving at Tiger Beach is very shallow, 7 to 15 meters, so the dives often last 90 to 120 minutes if you're good on air. The visibility is generally pretty good too, so the photographic opportunities are exceptional. Any time is good for tigers except for the middle of summer when the water's too warm and the big sharks leave the area. Winter probably gathers slightly more sharks than other times, but winter storms could be a huge problem, with many trips being cut short or cancelled. It looks like this website, Annie Murch's website, Big Fish Expeditions, run our trips in April when there are still plenty of tigers in the area and the weather is generally excellent. At Fuva Mula Atoll in the Maldives, there is relatively new tiger shark feed that seems to be reliable and gaining popularity. I have not been there yet, but the reviews sound very promising. In Fiji, the bull shark feed at Beka Lagoon sometimes attracts tiger sharks, but not reliably, not in great numbers. At Aliwal Shoal near Durban in South Africa, there is a tiger shark feed that is a bit hit and miss for tigers, but worth doing if only for the excellent oceanic blacktip encounters. Unbaited tiger sharks are randomly seen at numerous popular locations. In the Eastern Pacific, they frequently make an appearance at San Benedicto Island and Revillagigedo Archipelago, Mexico, and at Cocos Island, Costa Rica. Theoretically, these encounters are the result of curiosity, but at Socorro, maybe Cocos too, I've known dive masters bringing a little bait, and even though these activities are not permitted in those parks. Interesting. So, really great sense of scale for how large tiger sharks can be. Beautiful animal. Again, would be a little nervous to dive with this because you can actually see even the lower teeth are really prominent, and they have that distinctive heart shape to them. So really great image. This is a beautiful shot of 3 individual tiger sharks. One of them, the nictitae membrane coming up. Really, really great shot of the tiger shark's mouth. On the lower jaw, you could very prominently see the heart-shaped teeth, where there's a large cusp with serrated cusplets on the trailing edge. And this is a great tooth type that is actually uniquely evolved to match the tiger shark's jaw, where the jaw is a little bit more flexible than other kinds of sharks. So it kind of works in this weird way where the shark gets a good grip on its prey item and just twists its jaw in such a way where the teeth kind of crack open. Like turtle shells, like sea turtles are a big prey of tiger sharks. Like the jaw can wrap around in the right way and hit the pressure points in the right way to crack open shells or take huge chunks of flesh off of a blubbery marine mammal. What's actually really cool about this photograph is you can see that the tiger shark, when he opens his mouth, is closing the inner passage. I forget the name, the formal name for this, but you can see the water going over its gills, but water is not entering the stomach because the shark is trying to eat something. So it's kind of cool to see that this is blocked off as the shark ingests a prey item. So really great shot, kind of seeing the inner musculature of the mouth and the throat, and how it kind of works to help the shark ingest food. So, let's see. Mingus is just a gif of the part where the diver flips the shark upside down with the caption "Get rotated, idiot." Quacker's first fact: the first 2 verses of baby shark equals 1 cycle of CPR. It's the right beat per minute, so technically baby shark saves lives. Oh my gosh, I did not know that. So, in the most bizarre way possible, that has brought a flashback to I did. So when I worked at Vim's, we had to do boat training, or not boat training, but there's certain things that we had to, safety training, I should say, where the message is that you have to make sure that you're trained to be on the boat safely, because when you're out in the water, there is no hospital at sea. There's no ambulance to come pick you up. It's I mean, you have Coast Guard and stuff, but it's higher risk. So we have to do mandatory safety training before we do anything on the boat, just to make sure that we're prepared as best as we can be. And one of the things we were doing was like CPR. So I had to learn CPR. I was Heart Saver First Aid certified for that training. But it just kind of brought me back to that, where one of the big messages, aside from there's no hospital at sea, were spiders, of all things, and spiders that could be found in the fish lab. And one of them was a black widow, which is like, yeah, I know it's black widow is like a dangerous spider, and it's not going to kill you unless you have pre-existing problems, but it's there. And then the other one was a brown recluse, and I was like, what? And my instructor was like, a brown recluse, and I was like, I've never heard of that. What is that? And apparently that is a really venomous spider that does occur in Virginia, and its bite actually damages tissue. And I had a friend who was bitten by a brown recluse, and she actually lost like a little bit of, like, you could see kind of like a round kind of tissue mark where she actually lost tissue from the spider bite, which is really freaky. So yeah, so that random class is that random class is where I learned about that spider. I've never heard of it before. I've never ever heard of it before until then. So, and I did have one in my apartment in Williamsburg, which is really I used to live in Southern Virginia, and I did have one at one point. And it's like, oh my gosh. It's actually the thing that identifies that spider is that, it sounds so dumb, but it looks really ugly. If you see an especially ugly spider, it's a brown recluse. Like it just looks wrong. It just looks really creepy. It just looks weird. And it has a violin kind of pattern, I believe, on its back. It's kind of like this weird looking. It has a unique little brown stripe on its back. But it just looks like a really spider. So, because you see the normal spiders, like those like big fluffy ones, look a little scary, but they're actually okay. This spider looks different. It just looks bad. So yeah. So anyway. But for the most part, and I was telling my wife this too. Like this region, I would say northern North Carolina to southern New Hampshire and Vermont is pretty okay as far as wildlife goes. So there's you only have a few venomous snakes, only a few venomous spiders, and you don't really have large mammals except for black bears and the the really rare mountain lion. You can get that here. I'm just saying, it's whatever is below the moose and above the alligator. That's a pretty okay place to be. So, sub moose, super alligator is a good range to be. So, if you're a herpetologist, southern North Carolina and beyond is really fun for a lot of cool wildlife, where a lot of really venomous snakes and large reptiles. So, which I love alligators. I'm really rambling right now, but just kind of interesting. So, okay, moving back, and actually, ironically, tying it back to sharks, it's just really funny that in the United States, at least, the Mid-Atlantic East Coast is pretty safe terrestrially, but all 4 dangerous shark species are found here, and we don't really have a lot of shark attacks. But they're all found here, and we have a really high biodiversity of sharks, which is great. Just it's kind of interesting. It's just the sea is very different from land. Just like a very different assemblage of critters. So, and actually, kind of similarly, we think of like the Red Sea. The Red Sea is like one of the most beautiful and vibrant coral reef systems in the world. And then like the surrounding, it depends on where you are, but a lot of the surrounding landscape is like desert or arid, and it's just kind of interesting. So, but I'm just gonna check out a few more tiger shark photos. This is a pretty good one showing the scale. This is it looks like a large female. It's incredible that this is a shark that is about maybe 2 to 3 divers long. Like, when you really think about that, that's a large individual. Oh. Fantastic head-on view of a tiger shark here. So, boop. So I've never seen a photo of a tiger shark at that angle, but it's a good view of its nostrils, and great photo. Oh my goodness. Actually, this is a really good photograph of a tiger shark cruising over a seagrass meadow. So this is actually probably... This actually is a great hunting ground for this species because it's large individuals probably wouldn't go after some of the smaller fish, but these seagrass meadows are a great place for sea turtles. So sea turtles do love to dine on the meadows, and the tiger shark hunting seagrass meadows is definitely something to watch out for, and something that it's actually a great habitat for the shark to be occupying, just in case it bumps into the occasional sea turtle. So, interesting. Alright, I'm just going to see if there's any other photos from it's a pretty large collection here. I'll take a look at this one, and then I think we'll move on to more facts about the shark. But just another nice view of the lower teeth, which are pretty prominent here. And it's kind of interesting when a shark opens its mouth like this. You have the lower teeth where the teeth are, or the lower jaw where the teeth are pretty prominent. The teeth are tucked into the upper jaw, but once a shark gets hold of something, the jaw drops like a guillotine. Since the jaw is actually disconnected from the rest of the head, so it's kind of it's just kind of interesting that once it gets a good grip or a good position on a prey item, just that upper jaw will just come crashing down. It's like, oof. I would like to learn more about, and I'm really fascinated about tiger sharks of the past, and we're going to take a look at fossilguy.com to learn more about the many tiger sharks that have existed before our modern one. So here's a great photo of our modern one, again with the prominent lower teeth. And also, since it's almost 10:30, please let me know in the comments if there's a particular topic that you'd like to cover for next week. It's been an interesting year where I like how we've mixed it up, where we've done either straightforward species episodes where we focus on one species, but we've also done regional episodes where we've done sharks of Hawaii, sharks in New Zealand. So I'd be happy to do another one of those. Or we can explore a particular topic. So we're talking about sharks, aquarium sharks last week, and then also shark like spy hopping, any kind of behaviors or topics. I'm down for whatever really. So let me know in the comments what you'd like to see for next week, and I'd be excited to do a stream on that topic. So tiger shark, fossil teeth, identification, extinct species, evolution, and distribution. So usually these articles are really good. Also, this is a wonderful photograph. This photograph has been featured in a lot of marine life guides on the species. So, quackers, the mouth looks so soft I have to remember they're predators. Question, what is that thing coming out of the tiger shark's mouth? That's a great question. I believe this is it looks like it's a fish. So I think it is a hand cut piece of bait. And based on the arrangement, I think it's a fish because it looks like this is a vertebral column here, and then these are spines here. So I want to say this is some kind of like bait fish, but I'm not sure what kind it is. So, and I could be wrong, but it definitely is. It looks like hand cut bait because since we have the diver in the back here, I don't think this is a prey item that the shark naturally hunted. I think this is a baited situation where the shark was handed this piece of bait and is manipulating it with its mouth. So, but I've seen this image too, where I got no suggestion. Forgive me. It's okay. Yeah, no, it's okay. It's actually kind of funny. Like, there's this one. I wonder if I could find this. There's this one weird Audubon photo. I'm probably not going to see this, but Audubon Field Guide sand tiger shark. It's so funny because when you just said quackers, really reminds me of this one photo that used to drive me a little nuts with it's a sand tiger shark in one of the very old like 90s Audubon field guides, and just the way that photo was taken, it's really similar where it's just so it's a little disorienting. Oh, that's actually a cool that's a great sand tiger photo. That's a younger sand tiger shark in really murky water. So cool. Oh my gosh. Where I'm hopefully diving in 2 weeks, I should be in an area where you can see these sharks, and I really hope I can see them. So we'll see. Fingers crossed. There's another great photo of a sand tiger shark. I'm sure you guys have seen this, but it's kind of wild. This is a Dusky smoothhound that was hooked, and the sand tiger shark lunged after it. So it's pretty gnarly to see, but it's also the natural food chain of in this part of the world, because I think this is it says Delaware, because the dusky smoothhounds are pretty prominent in shallow water areas, and actually go into tidal creeks in Delaware and all along the east coast of the U.S. But sand tiger sharks follow them into the creeks, and it's just kind of cool to see a sand tiger shark predating a dusky smoothhound here. Uh, just wild shot. I can't find the photo that I was talking about, but yeah. So yeah, that's my lunch. Yeah. So for fossil tiger sharks, here we go. Let's see. So tiger sharks are large predatory sharks with a fossil record dating back to the Eocene. They're known for their distinctive serrated teeth, global distribution, and highly opportunistic diet. The name Gallicerdo comes from Greek roots meaning shark and fox, often translated as fox shark. The common name is tiger shark, referring to the striped pattern seen in juveniles. Tiger sharks first appeared in the Eocene with Gallicerdo latidens. In the Miocene, species such as Gallicerdo aduncus and Gallicerdo myombensis occur. A closely related tiger shark-like species, Physogaleus contortus, is also found in Miocene deposits but belongs to a separate genus. So I had no idea that there was a separate genus of tiger sharks. So we're talking Eocene is 34 to 56 million years ago, and Miocene is 23 to 5.3 million years ago. So it's incredible that these sharks have existed for so long. Extinct species from the Eocene are Gallicerdo latidens, and then the Miocene, those two that were mentioned, Gallicerdo aduncus and Gallicerdo myombensis, and then a Miocene shark, Physogaleus contortus. Modern tiger sharks are found in tropical and warm-temperate oceans worldwide, especially coastal waters, estuaries, and island systems. They are absent from the Mediterranean Sea. They're usually 11 to 14 feet, with large individuals exceeding 18 feet. Diet: highly opportunistic apex predator, feeding on fish, sharks, rays, turtles, birds, dolphins, and carrion. Near threatened conservation status primarily due to fishing pressure and fin trade. And then fun fact that I think we all know, tiger sharks have one of the most diverse recorded diets of any sharks, occasionally including non-food items such as license plates and tires. The tiger shark has a long evolutionary history that stretches back to the Eocene epoch. Early species such as Gallicerdo latidens were smaller and had proportionally broader tooth roots compared to modern forms. I'm just going to take a sip of water. By the Oligocene and early Miocene, Gallicerdo aduncus became a widespread and dominant tiger shark species, with related forms such as Gallicerdo myombensis also appear in the fossil record during this interval. These extinct species eventually disappeared by the late Miocene. In the Pliocene, they were replaced by the modern tiger shark, Gallicerdo cuvier, which is the only living species in the genus today. Physogaleus contortus is a closely related shark that lived in the Miocene. Let's see. Gallicerdo cuvier, the modern tiger shark. The modern tiger shark is one of the largest living shark species, with most individuals reaching 11 to 14 feet. Its bold vertical striping pattern makes it one of the most easily recognizable sharks in the ocean. Juveniles display dark spots or faint bars along the body that gradually merge into vertical stripes as they mature. These markings often fade with age. Combined with its short, blunt snout and robust body shape, the tiger shark is rarely confused with other shark species. Tiger sharks are widely distributed throughout the tropical and warm-temperate oceans worldwide. They are most commonly found in coastal environments, including shallow reefs, lagoons, estuaries, and harbors. In the Atlantic, they range from Massachusetts to the Caribbean and Gulf of Mexico. In the Pacific, they are found around Hawaii and along the eastern Pacific, including waters off Southern California. They are also known for seasonal migrations between warmer and cooler waters, and for long-distance movements across oceanic islands. Notably, tiger sharks are absent from the Mediterranean Sea. As opportunistic nocturnal predators, tiger sharks have one of the most varied diets among sharks. They feed on bony fish, rays, other sharks, sea turtles, dolphins, squid, crustaceans, seabirds, and occasionally scavenge materials. Because of this broad diet, they are sometimes referred to as the garbage cans of the sea. I also joke at home that because I just eat anything. And so I often joke that I'm a tiger shark because I just anything goes unless it's a banana. I don't like bananas; they're terrible. But actually, no, bananas are good for everybody. But I don't know why. I just personally don't like them that much. But I tried the I saw this random video of the members of Fallout Boy eating this ridiculous snack combo, and I won't name it because I don't want to embarrass my wife, and I don't know if she's watching right now, but I don't want to name it because I don't want to embarrass her. But I tried it one day, it was okay, and it's just like it's a tiger shark kind of move where it's just like anything goes. I usually down to try anything, but not bananas are terrible. Although tiger sharks are responsible for a number of recorded shark bites on humans, second only to great white sharks, such encounters are extremely rare, and these animals generally avoid people. Interesting. I'm a little. That's a little interesting to me that statement because it's a pretty high number of shark encounters with tiger sharks, or sorry, shark attack encounters with tiger sharks. So, I think because they're opportunistic, I would not advise that this is a shark that avoids people. I think this is a shark that's a little bit more intentional than that, personally, but. While tiger sharks have limited commercial value today, they're sometimes targeted for their fins in certain regions and are also popular among sports anglers. Overall, the species is currently listed as near threatened by the International Union for the Conservation of Nature, reflecting concerns about fishing pressure and population decline in some areas. Tiger sharks and native Hawaiians. And we might have touched on this, I think we did touch on this a little bit in the Hawaiian shark episode. In traditional native Hawaiian culture, sharks held deep spiritual significance. We did touch on this. I remember this. They were regarded as aumakua, or ancestral guardian spirits. Among the most powerful of these were large sharks such as tiger sharks and great whites, known collectively as niuhi. In some traditions, consuming the eyes of a niuhi was believed to grant chiefs heightened insight and intuition. Women, however, traditionally forbidden from eating niuhi. Beyond their spiritual role, sharks also provided practical resources. Tiger shark teeth in particular were commonly embedded into wood and used as cutting tools, knives, and weapon blades. These tooth-studded tools and war clubs were well documented and can be viewed in museum collections such as the Bishop Museum in Oahu. I have seen these before. Wow, so these are examples of tiger shark war clubs, and would not want to be on the receiving end of any of these. So I know I keep saying it, but shark's teeth literally are like razor blades. It's not an exaggeration. It is literally as sharp as a razor blade. They're very, very, like the way that the keratin is, has evolved and how precise it is. It's just incredible how sharp these teeth are. And I've cut myself accidentally cleaning just sedentary shark jaws, and it's really, really, really bad. Like, mouthful of razor blades is not an exaggeration. It's not a Shark Week, sensationalist claim. It's a real thing. So these war clubs made out of tiger shark teeth, these really do mean business, and these would not be something that you would ever want to come across in that time. So I choose that as my weapon in the game. Yeah. I wonder if it is available as something that I'm not sure what game would have it, but I'm sure it's got to show up in some kind of game. And it's kind of funny, like sharks do. I remember my brothers really like Grand Theft Auto, and they specifically played GTA 5, which I think that's the one. I'm pretty sure it's the one that's in it's like a California-like environment, I think. I obviously don't play it that much, but I would drive them. I would really bug them because anytime I play, I like to explore the nature in the game. So I don't do any of the mayhem activities. I go either hiking or take the submarine down into the depths. And there's like white sharks in that game, which I had a lot of fun trying to look for, and my brothers would beg me to give them the controller back because I'm not playing that game correctly. So, um, but here we go, fossil tiger sharks. So here's quite a. This is actually a really great comparison of the different forms. So we have Gallicedo latidens on the far left. So this is the smaller tiger shark from the Eocene. Gallicedo aduncus from the Oligocene and Miocene. Gallicedo miambensis in the late Miocene, which actually is really freaky serrations. Look at that. And then our modern tiger shark, Gallicedo cuvier, from the Pliocene, the recent. So I think this one, miambensis, probably is a large shark. They're very, very prominent serrations here. It almost looks like a snaggletooth shark. Just in terms of like how large each of the serrations are. Aduncus also has like pretty nice serrations on the rear edge of the tooth, and that is also a pretty large tooth too. And then even latidens, it actually has the cusplets are pretty large, where they almost are reminiscent of like a six-gill shark in terms of like how prominent each cusplet is. Physogaleus is interesting, where it has very low cusplets, but a long and more narrow main cusp. So this actually, I would wager that Physogaleus may be going after more like fish-like items, but the Gallicedo sharks probably go after a varied diet, and actually probably are capable of hunting marine mammals as well. So I'm going to try to hop back and forth. The image above shows side-by-side comparisons of fossil tiger shark teeth representing multiple extinct Gallicedo species through time. The earliest forms appear in the Eocene, including Gallicedo latidens and the rarer Gallicedo egosomi. These early species have relatively simple serrations and generally resemble smaller versions of the modern tiger shark, although Gallicedo egosomi typically exhibits a taller, more elongated crown. So one thing I like about fossils is that it's like you have kind of like a main anchor species, but you do have a couple very closely related species off of that. So they were talking about this one right here. During the Oligocene and Miocene, Gallicedo aduncus becomes widespread and represents a more advanced stage of tiger shark evolution. Its teeth are still comparatively small and less robust than modern forms, but retain the basic tiger shark cutting morphology of simple serrations. By the late Miocene, Gallicedo miambensis appears. The species shows a closer resemblance to the modern tiger shark with larger teeth and more complex serrations, including secondary serrations, but differs in having a noticeably taller crown. Its distribution appears limited and somewhat uncertain, with occurrences reported from regions such as Florida. So I think it's safe to say that these two sharks, the modern tiger shark and miambensis, achieved a similar size and handled a similar set of prey. So pretty cool. Modern tiger shark, Gallicedo cuvier, appears by the early Pliocene and is represented by the largest and most highly serrated teeth in the genus. These teeth are strongly adapted for cutting a wide variety of prey, including fish, turtles, and marine mammals. As shown in comparative fossil assemblages is Physogaleus contortus, a tiger shark-like species once classified within Gallicedo, but now placed in a separate genus. It is common in Oligocene and Miocene deposits and is characterized by a slender, twisted crown adapted for grasping rather than slicing. Let's see. I wonder if there's any modern depictions of this shark. So, kind of a silly looking, a very unfortunate looking image of a shark that doesn't seem to know where he is in the middle of a mosasaurus's jaws, so that's sad. Let's see. But some really cool looking teeth, though. And actually, some of these samples show how narrow the Physogaleus teeth can be, which is pretty cool. This is a particularly pretty tooth. That's actually a beautiful tooth here. So what's really cool is that shark teeth can be a variety of different colors. Like fossilized shark teeth could be a variety of different colors depending on how, when, and where they're fossilized. So the mineral deposits that they are in will have a huge effect on the final form of the tooth. So I usually have like black teeth or like some really pretty pearly blue teeth. I see teeth, but I don't really see any images of or any artistic renderings of tiger sharks, Physogalius. So I guess we'll keep moving. Tiger shark teeth morphology and identification. Oh, this is actually going to be cool. So Cuvier is the extant living tiger shark and produces some of the most distinctive fossil shark teeth. These teeth are about the largest within a genus and are generally robust, with an average length of approximately 1.1 inches and average height of about 0.86 inches. Tiger shark teeth have complex serrations along both the mesial and distal cutting edges, often with distal edges often strongly notched. So this is actually a really great view of shark tooth terminology, and this applies to all shark teeth. So you kind of have to look at it like axes. So you have apical and basal. So apical like apex, like the top, and basal like the base, so bottom. So apical basal is one axis. Mesial distal is kind of like mesial is the middle of the mouth. Distal is the most distant point. So the mesial side is kind of facing towards the middle of the mouth. It's like if the teeth are lined up in a row, the mesial side is pointed towards the center of the mouth, and the distal side is pointed towards the back, kind of like where the molars are, if you will, like if you compare it to humans. You have complex serrations here. You have a strongly notched distal edge, so the distal being the side that is close, pointing to the end of the mouth. You also have lingual and labial. So this gets like a little... Lingual and labial gets a little tricky, so... because like I'm trying to find a great way to kind of remember it. Lingual is like language, so it's kind of like looking into the throat. Labial is like lips, so it's kind of like looking outward towards the lips of the shark, which is like it's like a terrible way to remember it, and I personally do get confused like with lingual and labial, like where that orientation is. I do get confused by that because the terminology is a little bit too similar to one another, but that's kind of how I remember it. Like the lingual view is a view facing the shark or looking down into the throat, and throat is where language is. It's a terrible definition, but it's kind of like my cheat for thinking about it. Yeah. But this diagram is actually really great for if you are ever interested in getting into shark tooth collecting. This is actually a really great diagram to kind of help identify teeth, where this is a good introduction in terms of common shark tooth terminology. So, good night, Quackers. Congratulations again, and I will message you with more details on your fin span prize. And thank you so much again for your submission for the contest. It just looks spectacular. So thank you so much for playing, and I will follow up with you in a little bit. So. Let's see. This is actually really cool. I forgot that you can get tiger shark teeth in Maryland. So, and actually, here's a cool comparison of fossil shark teeth. So this is Galacedodoncus with the same language. So, basal, apical, lingual, labial, mesial, and distal. You can actually see here that Galacedodoncus has like a nice curve, like a really nice smooth curve inward, whereas the modern tiger shark kind of has this like bulge, and the teeth is kind of more prominent, which is kind of interesting to compare that. This is Physogalius contortus, so this is the cousin of the tiger shark, which this one is easier to identify because of the long twisted tooth type. Interesting. And here's an amazing assemblage of Physogalus contortus teeth. And it's kind of cool to see that as they go further back into the distal side of the mouth, the curve gets stronger and stronger. So it's really interesting. Oh, a fossil shark tooth, bite marks, and feeding pathologies. A small number of Physogalus contortus teeth showed distinctive feeding damage, was commonly expressed as a complete shearing of the mesial cutting edge. This type of pathology is relatively easy to recognize in fossil shark teeth. In the example below, their 3 teeth display this consistent pattern of damage. When examining the morphology of tiger shark-like teeth, a likely explanation becomes apparent. The angle formed between the root base and mesial cutting edge is relatively acute, which concentrates stress during feeding. When a shark bites into hard or resistant material such as bone, the stress could be sufficient to shear off the cutting edge. Wow. Similar feeding-related damage is also observed in Hemipristis, so snaggletooth sharks, which share comparable tooth geometry and cutting edge structure. Interesting. More fossil tiger shark teeth examples. So you have the modern tiger shark here, so really pretty teeth. Aduncus here. I think I might have Aduncus teeth, actually. I think I have at least one tiger shark. Myombensis is so interesting because these look like pretty fat teeth, so suggesting a pretty large shark. And Physogalus contortus, so really cool long narrow teeth here. Alright, so I'm going to post this link to this website just because fossilguide.com is a really cool fossil resource. So every article that I've ever seen on this website actually is pretty spectacular, and I think that was a really cool overview of tiger sharks in general as far as their fossil history. But I think with that, we probably will wrap up for tonight because it's almost close to 11. And I'm going to get back to, I think we'll exit with Quacker's art celebrating the tiger shark, which I love being zinged in the sense that it's not the shark I had in mind, but it is an adequate answer in the sense that it ticks off all 4 boxes for the contest, so it's a well-earned win. But guys, thank you so much for watching, and I think as a fun idea for next week, I kind of had this idea for a while, and let me make sure I didn't miss anything in the comments, because I don't think I did. Let's see. Okay, yeah, I don't think I did. So, as far as an idea for next week, I think it might be fun since it's summer, since the weather is warm, since it's kind of like a good time for adventure. Sharks of the Caribbean might be a lot of fun to do. So we could dive into more detail in terms of what shark species occupy Caribbean seas, and like what. Oh, thank you, Minjas. I really appreciate that. What shark species occupy Caribbean seas? I don't think we've done this yet. Let me make sure. Let me make 100% sure. Okay, awesome. Yes. So I'm double checking. What did I do for? We did captive sharks, sharks of the Gulf of Mexico. Okay, sharks of the Gulf of Mexico. That's why I was getting a little confused. Okay, perfect. So sharks of the Caribbean. We're definitely going to do it. So Sharks of the Caribbean, showcasing sharks that occupy the Caribbean Sea. A lot of them we'll probably be familiar with, but some of them I do think are unique to the region. So there's at least one population of smoothhounds that I know is unique to islands in the Caribbean, which is so cool. But I'm excited. I think it's going to be a good one for next week, so I will get everything ready, and I'm so excited to share with you guys next week. But until then, thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you all have a great week. I appreciate you being here, and just thank you so much for a really fun and lively stream tonight, and I'm looking forward to seeing everybody next week for Sharks of the Caribbean. But cheers, everybody. Have a great week. Bye.